there! Have you subscribed to our channel yet? Invite your friends and search for CSLGH.
We're almost in.
No, I have one. Thank you.
It's good.
People are coming back that said they were coming back. Maybe I'll leave them at the back. That probably would be better.
No, I think you're okay. While we're waiting for the few folks that are returning, all of you folks move forward. I want you up here as a small group in a class, not as a bunch of folks watching from a distance.
The angel chairs in the very front.
I keep ending up in the first row.
You're supposed, yes, you're a first row kind of person.
Last week I got moved to the.
Yeah, you do.
Are we getting an A plus?
Do we get a gold
Yes.
sticker? Do we get a gold sticker?
Teachers' pets, right?
Gold sticker? Gold star.
Gold
Gold
star.
star.
I want a smiley face.
And would you rather that we wait for a while for some more to come? Or should,
Maybe a couple of minutes.
okay, glad to.
They'll be playing the announcements on the rotation until we actually do start.
That works. Yeah, here come some more folks. Good.
I know what she looks like and I can hear her. That's the most important.
If I can sit over here.
That's a good place for you right there, don't you think? Sure.
I didn't think you wanted to second day.
No, they're fine.
Well, yes, her and I were together last time.
We did the workshop. But you guys match, look at you, how cute.
We planned it.
Almost the same tone, a little bit bluer.
Yes, she's just more saturated.
I'm saturated with your favorite color.
Yes, yes.
Sort of tealish, it's teal.
It works, yes.
It's one of my favorite colors, teal and peach.
That's my second one too, yeah. Yeah, this one was a Polish trunk show, but this one is definitely New Mexico. Thank you, thank you.
I've been called worse than Michael. No, there's a James Michael. Yes, this man right here.
You're James.
Yes. James Michael.
Oh,
So James, I hope I didn't confuse you when I said James's Christmas party is where I do all of my drinking. That's a James in Oklahoma City.
I heard you say James, but I knew you must have been speaking about someone else. No, we can party together. I
Yeah,
think that'd be
yeah.
fun.
James is my best friend in Oklahoma City, and he is an 84-year-old Native American drag queen.
All right. I resemble that.
And I just afternoon. I want to pray us in because prayer is good as a place to start. Oh, so just a deep breath. And just opening up to this space of watching Spirit give us a gift that we didn't even know we were looking for. That everyone that is gathered here is getting something that they really want to tell themselves today. And that's going to show up in expected and unexpected ways. We get to just play with it and trust the process and open up into our higher selves talking to us from the inside out. And I just trust that process. I am so grateful to be part of that process. I am so grateful for what Spirit chooses to reveal today for each of us. And in that gratitude, I let it go and let it be, and together we say, and so it is. Mm-hmm. So, the premise behind the teaching that everything I'm going to do today is drawn from is the noble purpose work of a gentleman named Dr. Barry Heerman. He left the planet just a few years ago at this point. He was brought in, he's not a religious scientist. He teaches a spiral, which I didn't give you a handout of, but a spiral that has elements of spiritual mind treatment in. Goes from initiating to visioning to claiming to celebrating to letting go to achieving your noble purpose. He was called in by RSI and UCORS when they started their conversations about reuniting and said, who's going to give us some guidelines of what our hearts are telling us is important to us so that we're grounded in the work that we do together? So he was a big part of some of the mechanisms they went and put in place for the conversations that led to our reunification. I fell in love with the stuff when I heard the title. It was Noble Purpose was being taught as a short course within ministerial school, and it just felt good to hear Noble Purpose. So what we're doing today is some of the preliminary exercises that just wake up some of the internal stuff that might be within us about what our yes is, what our why is, what motivates me to show up in the world, and am I expressing that? Or am I? Some of us are absolutely living the thing we know we want to be and do, and maybe the fire isn't as lit right now as it was at some other time in our life, so maybe there's room to relight it. Or maybe you're searching, maybe what your life looks like right now is just fine, but it's not the big why that's in there wanting to talk to us. So we're going to play with some exercises today and some conversations that help us open up to what we want to tell ourselves from the inside about what's ours and why I'm here on the planet and what I might even stretch into doing about that. So what I want to do right out of the gate is take us into a meditation. Lots of quotes here by Ernest and others about why this kind of work is good. And I won't even do that today, but they're there for you for any time you want to look at them. But I want to take us into some internal meditation time that opens up a space. And I'm going to ask us some questions that then you'll have a few minutes to journal answers that may have arisen. And that's what you have a page in your workbook to start writing things down. I would suggest you don't write things down till after we've come back up from the quiet time, because let's not break that deep space. Let's stay in the deep space together. So again, just another deep breath, maybe in through your nose and sigh it out through your mouth. And in through your nose and hold it at the top for a moment and sigh it out even longer than the in-breath. And one more time, in and hold and out. And just being in this good, sweet space of openness below the woulda, coulda, shoulda, below the chatter, below the I wonder what this is going to be about. Just in that open space of being willing to open up to some inner answers. And I want you to, within this open space, remember what it was like to be a kid. Remember yourself as a child. What it felt like, what you wanted, what you played with, what you fantasized about, what you knew yourself to be, what you imagined yourself becoming. Just be with yourself as a kid. What it felt like to feel good about being yourself as a kid. We all carry around some memories of stuff that might not have been great. That's not what we're doing today. We're finding the spots that felt good. That felt authentic. That felt like this is who I am. And it's good to know this about myself. And as we just gently reacquaint ourselves with that space and that feeling, I'm going to ask some questions for you to answer. There it is. So looking at and feeling into some childhood memories. What were some things you liked to do when you were a kid? Things you liked to do. And just be in the space of letting some memories bubble up. What were things you liked to do? Next question. What were possessions you liked to have? What things did you have that felt really good that they were yours? Possessions you liked to have. And again, just leaving space for some answers, for some memories. Next question. What were some adventures you liked to take? And I'm talking real world adventures. I'm talking real experience. Maybe just riding your bike around a neighborhood. Maybe a family vacation. Maybe an exploration. What were some adventures in your childhood that you liked to take? And a final question, and this one is about the imaginary world. What were some fantasies you liked to experience? Where did your imagination take you? What fantasies did you like to experience? And taking another deep breath. Gently bring yourselves back into the room. And take a few minutes to make some notes. You've got a page with those questions asked to fill in some blanks. And you can do it just in some shorthand of just some ideas, or you can write out full sentences if that's the way you really feel like you got to do it, whatever works for you. But make some notes about what came up for you. I'll give you about one more minute. Be finishing up. If you've got a lot more you want to say, you can come back to it in another time. And now I would like you to find a partner that you're going to share a conversation with what came up for you. So if you need to move to find somebody to sit with, you're welcome to do that. Find a partner, and I'll tell you more in a moment. Thank you. Thanks for asking. I'll give you more instructions in a moment. Just find a partner at this point. Okay. That works. Okay, what you're going to do, folks, is you're going to pick who goes first. Okay, pick who goes first, and that person is going to talk about all 4 questions. The person who's listening, their job is not to give input and not to give advice. It's just to listen and accept and appreciate what the first person is saying. You're going to have 3 minutes, which is quite a long time, actually, to talk about these 3 questions. The end of that 3 minutes, I will ding, 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 and you can switch. You can thank your partner, switch over, and the second person tells what came up for them, and it's the other person's job to just listen and appreciate, okay?
3 minutes each.
3 minutes each, and I'll tell you when the 3 minutes is up, okay? Okay, go ahead with whoever's first.
This game just, I mean, when I gave it, I made sure I'm just campaigning on that. Nothing I thought about fantasy was position somebody right in the and now think about that. It's not necessarily my biological family. Even if it was actually
To be finishing up and switch. Thank your partner. Thank your partner and switch. Two minutes ago, we switched. Sorry, you weren't listening. I'll give you more time. Okay, be finishing up, folks, and thank your partner. Finish up and thank your partner. Dong. Yeah, yeah. Or we turn this louder. How to do that. Okay. Did anybody have any really strong insights, anything that they want to share about themselves or the experience of sharing with somebody else or something that surprised them? Anybody? Anything? Yes.
Both Nancy and I had so much resonance about being so we were so independent as children. We could go outside and play. Her mom had a bell. My mom had a whistle that she would blow to time to come in. But we played with the other kids and we invented things and we were outside and really independent.
Sweet. Yes. Anybody else? Here's a share over here. Yes. Thank you for running the mic. Yes.
When I played with my friends at night, during the, after school, we had to come in when the lights, when it got dark. But what I liked about playing with my friends is I felt free. I just felt so free. So that's
Love it. Love it. Anybody else? Pass it back. Wait a second.
I remember my mom used to do shrinky dinks with me and like do a lot of arts and crafts. And there was this one where you used to put these little pieces of plastic into a metal frame and we would melt them and you could hold them up to the sun. And I remember playing tetherball and handball and this little self of mine, and also skateboarding and bike riding. But the vision I was remembering, because I was trying to remember the fantasy, I don't remember having fantasy. And I don't remember having convoluted thought. I just remember my thought being pure and clear. And even going back when you were talking about fantasy, I'm like, I don't remember thinking. But I had to have thoughts. So that got me to thinking about thinking, which was like, when did I start double thinking? Like, when did the extra thoughts start coming in? Because when I was skateboarding, I was just skateboarding. Yeah. And occasionally I would think, I can remember thinking about, Sarah or Tiffany, whoever, they don't want to play with me, but it wasn't like they don't want to play with me. I'm no good, and then I wonder what this is going to mean for the rest of my life that this person doesn't. Like it was no extra thoughts like that. So it got me to thinking about when did I start second guessing thinking or negative thinking basically.
Yeah, lovely. Pass it forward. We've got somebody up this way. There's a microphone coming to you, dear.
Hi. I remember transcending kind of, because I used to take little teeny white flowers and cook rice with them. I was about 7 or younger. And I'd make mud pies and I'd put my whole self into it. And not intentionally, it's just how I was. And I remember taking a brick and grinding it as if as if I was doing something. It's something I realized in doing that brick on the ground and turn it into something like I was really gonna make something, right? I find today what I learned is don't get mad, don't get scared. I love to work. I didn't know that. I'm always working, but I thought I had to work. I'm retired, but I still thought everything I do, I have to do it. So now I realize most of the time I want to do it. And then I had a feather. I don't remember much else of the things I possessed. A feather. I thought a feather was the hottest thing. Dolls. I remember I loved to run in the rain. I don't love to run in the rain now, but I love the rain. And I remember sneaking off with my sister on the bikes. We were about 10. 9 and 10 and going to another neighborhood, that was the grandest adventure. Oh my God, we were way out of where we were supposed to be. And that felt so good. It felt so sneaky. It felt so wonderful. So I don't get mad at kids for what they do. I really don't get mad at kids for what they do.
Love it, love it. There was somebody, but did you want it? No. Okay, send it over this way then, please.
Well, I remember dancing at weddings. I'm from a big family, and I have older brothers and dad, and I had a lot of people to dance with. I would drag out my cousins at the first chance of dancing, and we'd be the only ones on the floor. I would drag them out. I didn't care. It was like, let's dance. It was fun. It was very, very fun. And being in a play in high school, I was in a couple of plays. That was a very interesting experience. Oh, and picking fruit. We would go pick cherries, and we'd eat. Could eat as many cherries as we wanted while we picked cherries. Picking apples, cherries, berries, just different things like that. It was really like wonderful to be in nature picking fruit with my family. And also, I took care of my younger siblings, and I remember I really liked taking my hair and tickling their tummies and getting them to laugh or blowing on their tummies. It was just really, really sweet. It just felt like a real special moments I would have with them.
Love it.
So thank you.
Love it. Yes. Anybody else? This way?
The biggest thing that came up for me was that I changed. So when I was smaller, I had these dreams. I mean, I love books, so I was going to be a lawyer, and I was going to be a chemist, and I had all these, and how that shifted. And the thing that really resonates is I grew up on a farm, but I wanted to eventually have my own farm, and I was going to have a luxury farm where I had this big home, but I could take walks in my own, on my own grounds. I had my own horses and all that. I wanted to have that as a farm. And the thought of living on a farm,
Yeah.
now it's just totally nothing about that now.
And there was somebody back farther, wasn't there? All right.
One thing I realized in general is that these were all very simple things that I love to do. And one of them, there's an area here, Sepulveda Dam, and me and a friend, we would get one of our moms to take us there, and where there's a creek, the clay would come up to the surface, and so we'd take shopping bags and we'd take a shovel with us. We'd take the clay, and then we'd take it home, and then we'd make stuff like pottery and just bake it in the sun. And yeah, and this was not, I mean, it wasn't red clay or anything. It just looked like dirt, but it was.
But it was clay.
Yeah, and it was real simple and really fun.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. And which way?
Most of my things that I like to do, I like drawing, I like using watercolors, I like to roller skate, ride my bike, and I also had dolls. But what I realized is that I like doing a lot of solitary things. I did have playmates, but I've always enjoyed being alone too and doing different things. And the thing about fantasizing, because I grew up in the 60s before feminism, I used to fantasize about having a home and a husband and kids, but for some reason, when I got in my 30s, I was married for a few years, but I ultimately chose not to have any children or anything like that. So that was interesting, I guess, because growing up as a young, at that time period, although Nancy doesn't seem to have more expanded ideas. One of the things I used to fantasize about being a teacher or a school nurse, because, and the two Nancys will laugh at this, I thought, Oh, they have such an easy job. They just give out Band-Aids and comfort the kids. And I've worked at schools, and I've sometimes helped in there, and I know they have a lot of paperwork and stuff, but I thought that would be such a nice job. So it was fun going back and reminiscing.
Love it, love it.
I just wanted to add one more thing, and then Maureen gets the floor.
Okay.
But I remember going to camp for the first time, and it was really amazing because we were shown how to do something. And I was able to make a little thing out of little stones, a macrame or something, little stones.
Okay.
Anyway, it was like the first time in my life that I was shown how to do something with a group of other people.
Mm.
And it was like a whole different experience for me. Thank you.
Yes.
Well, something really surprising popped up. My favorite fantasy that I had. I was raised in a really, really small town in British Columbia in Canada in the Rocky Mountains. And we didn't have TV, but we had a theater, the Orpheum Theater. And Saturday was going to the movies. And all of a sudden I realized that you could buy magazines that talked about the movies and movie stars. And I would hide them in my closet because my mother called them smut. And so I would hide them in places where my mother was never going to go look. But I had this fantasy at maybe 10, 11 years old of moving to Hollywood. And of course, then I was going to meet all these movie stars and everything. But where that came from, I'm certainly not sure. But the first time I went to visit a friend of mine who lived in Hollywood, I stood there and I was having this like deja vu moment, but I forgot all about it until you told me to write down my fantasy. And that's the best part of my page.
There you go. Love it, love it. Anybody else?
I forgot, I used to be in plays in fourth grade, like she was talking about. And there was a theater house. We lived on Van Ness, and I forgot the other street, but it was by Hollywood. And so I went to this, I used to do plays with my friends. We actually had a teacher teach us, and there was one guy there, he did a play by himself. He did a monologue play, and he was so good, it made me want to be an actress. Even in the fourth grade,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, because he seemed like he had so much confidence. And so that's something that I fantasized about.
All right, all right. Okay. Oh, isn't it fun? All right. Let's take this. We're going to do some more digging, some more deep well stuff. So here we go again with another chance to get quiet and go inward. Close your eyes if that feels right. Take a deep breath in and let it out. And centering right back down in to that space that's still waiting for us, always available, ready to surprise us. And again, we open up to memories, ideas, thoughts about ourselves that might not be up on the surface for us right now. And this time we're not going back to childhood. We're going to go into our adulthood, whether it's years ago or recently. But this span of feeling like a grown-up, some of us never totally feel like grown-ups, but that's another story. How about if we go to a memory of what Dr. Heerman calls a mountaintop experience? And what he means by that is something really big and important and transcendent and powerful. Time that felt different and special for whatever reason. Whether it was our own power in that moment, our own success in that moment, or a realization of how beautiful something was, or a connection with another human, whatever, but a mountaintop experience. Open yourself up to receiving the memory of a personal mountaintop experience. And just leave a minute or so now to stay open for a memory to come in. And maybe it's something you think about all the time, or maybe it's a total surprise that you'd forgotten. What is a mountaintop experience that you wish to remember right now? And another breath. And a new question. This may seem similar to the first question, or it may be totally different. What has been your greatest accomplishment? What is that thing that you are absolutely centered in being happiest about, proudest about? Most feel like yourself in, big S, self. What has been your greatest accomplishment? And again, allow space for a memory. Something may bubble up immediately. Something may take its own sweet time to show up in your memory. What has been your greatest accomplishment? And now a third question for you. I invite you to entertain all that's come up for you in every question we've asked so far. The stuff about your childhood, the stuff from adulthood, and hold all of that up to the light and notice. Are there any common threads? Is there any resonance? Are there any unexpected connections? Just consider it. Leave the space for a surprise. Might be obvious, it might be totally unobvious, but Spirit wants to whisper something to you right now and poke you and say, notice this. What do all these memories and feelings and experiences, where's the commonality? Where's the bridge? What's it telling you right now? another deep breath. Oh, yes. And bring yourself back into this space. And I invite you to pick a different partner. It's going to make you move around. I know you may love the conversation you've been having. Find somebody new. I think it's wonderful we got an even number of folks today, so this is perfect. Okay. I'll give you another minute to find a partner. Somebody want to move over there so that they don't have to move?
Well, thank you. It's one of us.
Two folks there. You can move my purse and stuff so you can be in front, somebody in front of Dr. Moe and somebody. You can stay put, dear. You're okay where you are. Okay, that'll work. You got it figured out. Good. Okay, so again, once you get settled.
Are we writing before sharing?
We're waiting before sharing because we got some people still matching up.
We didn't write them.
As many as come up for you. You're fine. Thank you, sweetie. Okay, and I didn't give you any time to write anything down, did I? See, I'm out ahead of myself. So take a moment to just make some notes, yeah? And once you've had those couple of minutes, then we'll start the conversations, okay? See, I'll get with my own program eventually. We'll get there. Okay, just another minute of writing. People have a lot to write. Okay, if you haven't completed, know that you can finish up more notes later at home, whatever. But right now we're going to engage in the same 3 minutes each of telling your partner what came up for you in these 3 questions. And again, your partner is just about listening and appreciating. And your 3 minutes starts now.
isn't so anxious with university students. And there's a program where engineers and scientists get free help from the university students who would then be trained on GPU. And it just was such a nice, simple process. It turned into a hiring pipeline. It just was a wonderful which sort of ties back to a lot of the other questions about what's important. Which, we're still stuck at the mountain.
Go ahead through all three.
But I realized that the great person is yet to be consent to come. When all this comes together. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. Yeah, and so the color animals and the places I see all this is that as a child, I really was passionate about helping others. Like I think we all have this power to see people need and to give it, but it just warmed my heart so much to have some of this feel. So it's a life of service is where I need to be. And so thinking about how I've been able to make that happen by making connections, my desire to help others, it's going to work with my greatest structure. Once I've manifested it. I'm not waiting for that. But it will happen to make things easier.
Okay, be finishing up with your first person and switch to the second person when you've said thank you. Time to switch partners. Switch partners. Okay, finish up and thank your partners. Finish up and thank your partners. Okay. You all are having too much fun. Okay, folks. Does anybody want to share into the larger group? Here we go. We got to share. Yes. Oh.
So everything that came up for me was connected to spirit.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and they're fixing it. There she is. Yes, you're on now.
Yeah, and everything that I experienced, even the moment when I felt the butterflies in my stomach, I realized that was spirit knocking, saying it was going to help me. To the moment that I looked in a child's eye and saw spirit, and as soon as I did that person went from being passed out to getting up and walking and said, okay, I'm okay. And it was like all the incidents that touched my life were part of the spiritual path.
Yes.
And it just seems like the string that ran through all of it was my discovery of spirit's existence. Yeah. And the beginning was when I was 10 years old, and my aunt was describing Jesus and God in the Sunday school. And I asked her, how can you think God would be stupid enough to create a devil?
Love it.
And
yes.
It seemed like the whole thing, now I hadn't connected, but all my life that's been the thing that seems to show up for me.
Beautiful, beautiful, Nancy. Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Nancy. Okay.
That was good, Nancy. I said my mountaintop experiences is being in love, playing with my niece, being in Michael Jackson's video because it was star-studded. Eddie Murphy, I was with him with his brother on his first honeymoon, graduating from college, and then the greatest accomplishments is being a child of God and being in hair ads and commercials, and the independence that I said is that I manifested all of it.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's it.
All right. All right. Somebody else? There.
The common thread in my accomplishments, I felt, was I moved out of my comfort zone.
Uh-huh.
I felt one of the biggest accomplishments when I retired in 2018 after working for 46 years. I felt like that was a real milestone here. I had put in 46 years. I have a pension with the school district and Social Security, but then I went back after 6 months. I was able to go back and work as a substitute in the office, so I was still generating income. And then there's been other times, like when I went through a divorce and changing jobs and grieving the death of my father and my aunt. Those were things a couple of years later, I saw myself coming out of that kind of dark night of the soul and feeling good that I had the marriage behind me. I was making new friends and relationships and had a job that I liked real well and made and then this was around the time that I started getting into science of mind. So that's my sharing.
Love it. Yeah, pass it back.
Well, I've had several mountaintop experiences. I did a lot of traveling with my husband in the past, but one of the situations that I was in was not with him. I was in a group in Sedona, and I don't know if you remember Hale Bopp, but I was on Airport Mesa, which literally is a sort of mountaintop. And it was a full moon, and it was a total lunar eclipse, which we watched from beginning to end. And there were Native Americans there. So literally at some point, it felt like we were going to lift off the mountain. I was into a lot of spiritual things then already. And so it was a very uplifting and life-changing experience. Also, being in Tahiti and seeing the water there and how clear it is. I don't know about today. That was a long time ago. But anyway, and overcoming just a lot of things from the past, I just feel like for me, it was like strength and endurance and perseverance.
Hi. So my mountaintop experiences throughout my life that I resonate with is graduating from college and then going back to school at 50 years old to get my master's in social work. And that was, to me, was a mountaintop experience. And of course, getting married at 23. My greatest accomplishment was giving birth to my daughter via natural childbirth, okay? It's my only child. And the interdependence and commonalities I see in all of that is God's grace and favor. Because all of those things required the faith and trust and dependence upon God to have a successful, wonderful, carefree pregnancy and the birth of a beautiful, healthy child. I'm always in gratitude and grateful for that. And then to have had the perseverance, the persistence, and the tenacity to return to college at 50, competing with a lot of young folk. Okay, you're the oldest person in the classroom, and getting over that fear, as the young lady before me said, walking through that fear of, okay, I can do this, I still have enough brain bandwidth to do it. So, yeah, thank you.
Beautiful, thank you. Anybody else? Yeah, bring it up front here.
So I guess I feel like the common thread is that I just work forward to be more kind, more loving, and more humorous. I had to look at that one. So thank you for laughing. Yes. Anyway, and it was funny. The very first thing that came to my mind when you said the mountaintop was that I was in Paris and going to bed. The sacre coeur was right. We were like where the Moulin Rouge was, which is down low, and sacre coeur is way on top of the hill. And we had walked up there like 3 or 4 nights in a row, throughout that. We were there for 2 weeks. And I was falling asleep, and all of a sudden I was at the top of the sacre coeur looking all over Paris. And that was the very first thing that came to me of my mountaintop experience. Nice. And it's one of it really, anyway. And then going to USM with Nancy and just being here at Granada Hill, just learning about science of mind. I just feel very fortunate that I've been able to find this place, actually. So there you go.
Sweet.
Find science of mind. Been coming here for a long time. Anybody else? Are you going to go?
Yeah, thanks. First, thank you, Lynn, for moderating this. I would just say that no revelations for me, but a confirmation, certainly that the greatest expectation is yet to come.
Sweet.
Thinking about how my life has come together, the challenges that I've overcome, the accomplishments to date, that the greatest accomplishment will be a continued life of service. And I'm just excited about that.
Sweet.
Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to also add that having children and grandchildren, and because that's pretty wonderful. And I was able to have my babies at home.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to go farther back, yes.
Thank you. My mountaintop experiences, well, the first thing was when asked, I was like, life is a mountaintop experience. And I was like, I couldn't really remember things because moments go by so fast. It's like it all becomes a part of the past. I was trying to pull things out that felt good. And I was on game shows. So I was on Wheel of Fortune, Let's Make a Deal twice, Price is Right 3 times.
Wow.
And Family Feud. And so I was looking at those from the perspective of being contestant and how exciting and fun that was. So those felt like mountaintop experiences. And then also graduating from college and walking up on stage. I was trying to feel the feeling of excitement in my body that felt like high energy.
Yeah.
So those were good. And then the most, what's the second one about the memorable experience? Greatest accomplishment was Cooper, having Cooper and having a cesarean section and my sister being in the delivery room with me and just that whole moment of her coming and how excited and scared and it was such a fulfilling moment and how much I was crying and just crying with excitement of her being here and just joy and all the doctors and everybody who was in there with me and here it is 10 months later and it's like, what the heck? That happened like that? It was like, so that's like my greatest accomplishment. And then the thing that reconciled it all or that was a common factor in them all is me. I was I'm there in all those experiences, so I'm the common factor.
Oh, love it. Yes, good answer. Sweet. Anybody else? Up here? Yes.
I'll try to make it quick. Can you hand me that paper? Okay.
Takes a village. Look at this. I love it.
It really does.
Yes.
Did y'all come over? Mountaintop experience. I'd say I had a few, but the ones that stand out are how much I changed and began to be the person that I am now. It's night and day. And I got sober. I came out to California. That's one. I got sober. And I stayed sober in 1975 until now. That's 51 years ago.
All right.
And maintained it. And it's been like heaven. Not the actual things that went on, but the relationship of having that happen to me without my pushing it, without my making it happen. It just happened. Yes. And I wanted it, and I went for it. I did it all, did everything. That is huge. I would be dead without it. And I couldn't think of anything, and I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and break my own, and I'll never forget it. Because gratitude means I should say it. And accomplishment of many. The biggest one is being a mother to Karen and Kim. And the thing about it is Science of Mind came right as soon as I got sober. And I was 73, but I didn't know what was going on. And then I realized later that I'd already been introduced. And then in 75, I became deeply involved. And I thought of being a minister. I was only about 20-something. And I thought of being a minister, but I thought of being a minister, but I was too scared. And so I've had to work a lot on who I am and the things in front of me, being afraid and going head on anyway. I went, greatest accomplishments was the children. Now I have a grandchild. I didn't accomplish that. I have nothing to do with that. I might be part of the village, but that's about it. And And then I went back to school like my friend back there. And I went back at 57. I got a master's degree at 61. And I went on to work and make money like I never made money before. And I used it and invested it and whatever. And I'm I feel really good about that. I feel really good about my financial status around my career. This interdependence and commonality, the only thing I could think of is I could not have done anything without the help of someone else, someplace else, somebody else, all of else's, whoever else is, and including that power. And as I told you, I think yesterday, learning to really believe in the thing itself, it has been my deepest concern. And when you said I wanted to cry this morning when you were talking about that, could that really be true, that we're all that important to that thing?
Yeah.
You know, that we really were made by something other than just being born and being on a earth experience. I don't know.
Hey, there's nobody else on the planet or has ever been on the planet that was you. You're a unique expression of that divine presence. And the divine gets to know itself as you. And without you, it wouldn't have that experience. So yes, you are that important to Spirit. Anybody else? Well, let's take it another step, and we're going to be true to our time too. So I want you to look at this page that's got a circle on it, and I think I want you to just take this home and let it cook, and take whatever pens or pencils or colors or markers or crayons or whatever you've got at home and put something in that circle that embodies everything you've learned about yourself today. And that doesn't mean it's got to be a realistic drawing, but it might be. It might just be an amazing color, something that grounds this experience into something physical that you put on paper, okay? That's your homework. That's what that circle is for. And if we were sitting in a playroom with all the kids' materials, I'd probably have us stay an extra time in coloring, but we're not going to do that today. And then that space at the bottom of the page, again, distill everything you've noticed about yourself. And some people might have actually learned something new about themselves, but more apt to be you're remembering something you've always known about yourself. And I want you to take that remembering and that knowing and turn it into an affirmation for your life. This is my why. This is why I'm on the planet. This is a really good reason to get out of bed every morning. This is what's going on. Spirit being itself, loving itself, celebrating itself as me. And that's what your affirmation for yourself is going to be. Okay? And actually, based on our time right now, let's take a few minutes to maybe work that. Let's work that. Let's take a minute with our eyes closed and just know that Spirit did some important work in us and through us and for us and as us today. And we are taking that work and exploring it further and deeper and higher and broader and whatever direction it takes us, pulling us forward into the next moment and the next moment and the next. And that is our yes. That is our why. That is our heart saying, this is who I am. This is why I am. And darn, it is good. And breathe into that. And then take a minute to just write something down. And it can be a formal affirmation, or it can just be a few words that you want to put on paper right now. But again, we're grounding it. The act of physically writing something is taking it from that mental place. We took it from the mental into the spoken word. Now we're going to write it down. So write something for yourself. And I just want you to look at the last page of your packets. If you got this in black and white, it may not show very well. It doesn't show very well in color, for that matter. But this painting just fascinates me, because you got a tightrope walker with his rope tied off up on this mountaintop. And he has walked out on this straight line of rope that only goes as far as his feet, and then up into his own hands. So he is creating his own path out into that infinite possibility. And oh my, right? And I want to read aloud this final quote from Ernest Holmes, because it's where who we are is serving the world, is serving this bigness that we are. This is from Practical Applications of the Science of Mind. There is an irresistible, universal, and divine urge within us to be happy, to be whole, and to express the fullness of life. The latent divinity within us stirs our imagination, and because of its insistent demand, impels and compels our growth. It is back of every invention. It proclaims itself through every creative endeavor. It has produced sages, saints, and saviors, and will, when permitted, create a new world. Yes, and yes, and so it is. And thank you all.